So today we are discussing on audit trial. I'll first, without wasting no time, I'll request our Chairman Devan Patra to please, start with his opening remarks.
So a very good evening to each one of you. I thank Sumit Bihani for taking this responsibility of helping us coordinating this program today. And two very important persons whom I can see on this screen, that is our faculties, CS Mamta Binani, madam, who is past president of ICAI, and CA Venugopal Gella. Because I think without faculties who come here enriched to enrich us, the value that the ICAI adds would have never been possible. So great thanks to the faculties. And yes, very important persons again, the team without which we cannot work at EIRC or ICAI. The Vice Chairman of EIRC, CS Sanjeev Sanghi, also happens to be the Chairman of the Information Technology Committee, which committee has taken the responsibility of holding today's program on audit trail. Chairman of CP Committee, CA Vishnu Kumar Tulsian, the Secretary of EIRC, and the very, very successful immediate past Chairman of the EIRC, CA Ravi Kumar Patwa. Sumit, you need to mute yourself.
Sorry.
I can see another faculty has also joined, CA Sarita Agarwal. So, thanks to ICAI. Friends, as we all know, we have been waiting for the last 2 to 3 years that this audit trail will be implemented or not. But finally, there is a day which had to come sometime, and it's here now. And I think the speakers would be speaking about that. But before I hand it over back to the coordinator, I must let you know that we had also planned a few more programs in April. But when we tried to organize that and we sent our communication to the DLH, today we had been informed that from 1st of April, no VCMs can be conducted by any of the users. So this is the last VCM that we are holding. Started during the COVID years. And probably today is the last day until and unless there is a new thought given to this idea. This is going to be the last VCM. And after that, the audit trail will be starting. So without wasting any more time and welcoming all the delegates who have taken pen and have participated in this program, although this is 31st March, we should have held this program much earlier. We are sorry that we could not do that in time, but finally it's happening, and we welcome you once again. And over to the session coordinator, CA Sumit Bihani.
Thank you, Devan sir, for your remarks. And with this, I request Sanjeev Bhaiya to please briefly introduce about this topic.
Thank you so much, Sumit. Respected Chairman EIRC, CA Devan Patru, the Secretary of EIRC, Vishnu Tulsian, immediate past Chairman Ravi Bhaiya, and 3 speakers who are experts in that topic, CS Mamta Binani, Venugopal sir, and Sarita Agarwal. All 3 are subject experts in their fields. This topic was conceptualized a week back when we, discussed that, audit trail is something which is the need of the hour. And immediately we jumped into it and we started curating the entire EIRC, started curating it in how we can make this more value for the entire delegates. So we thought of bringing a company law expert. And we all know Mamtadi is an expert in company law. She had been the past president of ICSI. So she's going to talk on the notifications as well as important thing which MC has come up with, followed by Venugopal sir, who is an expert in GST as well as an expert in Tally and many other technological tools. So he's going to tell us how how this is going to impact in software, which is most commonly used by most of the small and medium practitioners on Tally. So he's going to practically demonstrate and guide us on what are the do's and don't while doing an audit trail for our thing to come. And followed by Sarita, who is going to show us the way on how we can get this done through Zoho Books, which is the largest or the biggest cloud accounting software right now in the country. So we are very happy to inform you that we got the highest registration post-COVID, and we were very lucky that just one day before this virtual meeting is going to get closed, as said by the chairman EIRC, we are fortunate to have this meeting. And let me inform all of you that we got more than 100 plus registrations. And right now we are sitting at 729 or just 730 people who are practically attending this presentation, which is very, very relevant and important for all of us. And these registrations are coming from all the 5 regions. To all the speakers, let me tell you, this is coming from all the 5 regions: Eastern India, Western India, Central India, Northern India, and Southern India. And so it's coming from across the country, and the entire country is actually looking and trying to view this important session on audit trail. So once again, thank you, Sumit, for agreeing to consent and coordinate this session. As rightly said by the chairman, the team is very, very important to do this meaningful thing. And I think the entire team is right now with us to make this event successful. So thank you once again, and over to Sumit.
Thank you so much, Sanjeev Bhaiya, and I agree, and probably few participants have also requested that VCM is a very important tool and it bridges the boundary. So with this, I request Vishnu Bhaiya, Treasurer Secretary EIRC, to please give his opening remarks.
Thank you so much, Sumit, for calling me to address this gathering. This is a really important program which we are heading at this 31st March, because from tomorrow, we have to follow the certain conditional use of software, accounting software, where which have to kept thoroughly edited in edit mode. And main important things I would like to say that we have 3 brilliant speakers before us, being CS Mamta Binani, past president ICAI, CA Venugopal Gela sir, who is very prolific in this technological part, and yes, no doubt Sarita Agarwal. She is also a very good speaker on this part of things. I also recognize the presence of immediate past chairman, CA Ravi Patwaji, IT committee chairman Sanjeev Sangiji, and none other than our chairman Devan Patra. And we together conceived this idea that this is very important amendment which was made by the MCA by amending Rule 3, Sub-Rule 1 and Rule 11 for the audit. It has 2-dimensional impact. One, the technology which we are using by way of softwares, which has to be very much updated as per the MCA guidelines, as well as the reporting responsibility on the auditors, that they have to report in every year, that what types of account software we maintain and how its log is being maintained. And they have to report upon this proper use of this log. So this 2 amendment is very important. Without wasting any time, I now hand over I stop my address and hand it over to moderator Sumit Binani. Thank you so much.
It's Sumit Binani Bhaiya. Thank you so much for your kind words, Vishnu Bhaiya. I will take. I request Ravi Bhaiya to please give the opening remarks, and we'll start the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sumit. Sumit Bihani, not Binani for sure. But we have Madam Binani here. Past president of ICSI, CS Mamta Binani ji. The other 2 speakers, a very erudite speaker we have in Mr. Venugopal Gela, and of course, Sarita Agarwal, who's an IT and Zoho expert. Chairman EIRC, CA Devan Patro, who, right from the day he has taken over, the quality of programs has been really, really excellent. Congratulations to him and the whole team. Vice Chairman Sanjeev Sanghi, Secretary Vishnu Tulsian. Ladies and gentlemen, a very happy evening to each and every one of you. Well, we have got the highest registration here because perhaps, the changes made in Rule 11G of the company's audit and auditors rules is perhaps the most talked about subject as of today. There is nothing else which impacts the professionals and the corporates more than this change. Of course, it came about 2 years back and twice it has been deferred. And please be rest assured that it is not going to defer anymore. So it has come, it is coming from tomorrow. And perhaps today is the right time to hold this session, just a day before it actually sees the light of the day. The change sees the light of the day. Most importantly, friends, India is the first country to bring in such a rule. Nowhere else in the world such a rule is there. And since India is the first country, there was no international guidance available to the ICAI for, creating the implementation guide or guiding the members in the right manner. That is perhaps the reason that we at ICAI, we took a little bit of longer period to finalize the implementation guide, but it has come, and the implementation as guide come well in advance, at least 10 days in advance before the rule actually, the change in the rule comes into bring. So we all can go through it. We all can have sessions like this where the learned speakers will enlighten us. Of course, there are two aspects in it. One is the responsibility of the management and the other is the responsibility of the auditor. Although the rules talk about the audit and auditor's rules, but inherently there is a huge responsibility with the management also. They also have to do certain things. In fact, they have to do, we only have to report. And at the same time, we must also keep in mind that although many of the chartered accountants or company secretaries or other professionals might have already gone through the rules, many of them have perhaps gone through the implementation guide also already. But despite that, there remains practical issues which are unanswered. And that is why we need sessions like this, where experts can actually guide us on how to tackle it practically. There are issues on the huge additional storage requirement which will be there because of the audit trail being kept, and the audit trail has to be kept for 8 long years. So huge additional storage requirement. There will be software requirement, including operating software requirements which are there. Then for very small companies which hardly have transactions, maybe 25, 50, 100 transactions in a year, maybe they would perhaps be more interested in not keeping the books of accounts in computerized system of accounting and go back to the manual writing of the books of accounts. These are the issues. There are many other issues. I cannot list all of them. Maybe at the end, if the questions are still there in my mind, after everybody else has asked, we can bring them out in front of the learned speakers. And we are here to hear from the speakers and not from us. So I would not linger anymore. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the session.
Thank you so much, Ravi, for your kind words. As we start the knowledge session, even I had an opportunity to read the note which ICAI had made. It was circulated by a chairman. And so I'll start the brief with introducing today's speaker, Mamta Di, who among East, I believe, would require no introduction. So presently, she is a president at MSME Development Forum, and she's, I'll just briefly read her profile and the rest is being displayed for your view. So she's a past president ICSI in the year 2016. And apart from that, she has been conferred with the Bharat Nirman Awards in 2010. With this, I'd request Mamta Di to please start her deliberation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's a deep honor and privilege and a great pleasure to actually share the dais with so many of my own friends whom I know so very well. A deep gratitude to EIRC of ICSI to really have considered to call me here on this very pertinent and important subject, which I think as professionals, we are really celebrating this. But let me tell you, as from the management perspective, being directors and independent directors and governance professionals, we are actually celebrating this move from the government of India. We were really awaiting this D-Day, and somewhere or the other, we thought that it will not come soon because of one or two reasons. That is a continued deferment of this great initiative led us to think that it may take another 5 years to really see the light of the day. But I must say, the willpower of the current dispensation is so very good that now doesn't anything which is really entailed to bring governance to the country doesn't take much time to come to the table of the citizenry. So it is a great thing that all the citizens are hailing in this country, and we are celebrating this movement not only for the professionals but also for the industry at large. I'm also must do I think that's something very important for me to actually do. I must congratulate Mr. Debayan Patru, a very able chairman of the Eastern India, and also Mr. Sanjeev Sandhi to really have put in so much of effort in this program, because I saw how dedicatedly and how minutely this program was being designed. To get an attendance of close to 1,000 people is no mean achievement, and it's not a mean task at all. Being in the organizers committees in previous past few years, we have understood how difficult it is to put a program in place. So my very many congratulations to Vishnu, Ravi, Sanjeev, and Mr. Patru. Thank you so much for doing this for all of us. Mr. Venugopal, it's a pleasure to share the dais with you, and so it is for me to a pleasure to share the dais with Sarita. Thanks for being with us. Sumit Bihani, a pleasure to see you in this role today. Let me just quickly tell you what this, how this has come through. I'll take you through a presentation first, and then maybe we will talk about it in greater details. So are you able to see?
Yes, it's visible. It's visible.
Sumit, you leave it. I'll handle the presentation from my side. So is this something which you have shared? Okay,
Yes, I have shared it.
let me share it. I'll be able to handle it better. Thank you for the support. So now I'll just do a screenshot. I hope you're able to view it. So I've tried to put forward a presentation to maybe tell you how this has traveled, and also what Ravi Patwaji was mentioning, that it really doesn't have a great history across the nation, and India has taken a lead. It is quite true. Yes, there are few instances where you will see some other countries also, developed countries of course, have taken a cue of audit trail from other developed countries, and how India has now adopted it and of course tailor-made it for our country. But a very, very bold step for which, and let me tell you, in the international scenario, it is being celebrated. Now, what is an audit trail? If I quickly give you an example, a child at home, if he creates any nuisance with his things, the mother comes in the evening and tells him, I know where you went in the house, because you have left your footsteps everywhere that you have gone. Okay, somewhere you've kept your toys, somewhere you have just kept your clothes around, or somewhere you've just put the light on, and somewhere you have not put off the fan. So wherever you have gone, I know where you have left it, because you have left your own mark over there. Okay, a mother comes and tells the child. Our audit trail is absolutely similar to it. Wherever the numbers have traveled, number one, and wherever it has traveled and has seen a modification, or even a small modification of a comma and a full stop, believe you me, that's true. Even if it is a small modification, not only numbers, say for example, it was 756 and we made it 757. Of course, it will have audit trail because it's a change in number. But even if, say for example, in a remark, I have written, it is a rat, and now I made it, it's a rat. So even a small modification like it is and it's a rat, even that small modification is also very well caught and seen by an audit trail. So audit trail is important in corporate governance and of course internal control mechanism because of two reasons, main two reasons. One, there's an ownership that is now taken by the person who feeds in the numbers or the data points, and ownership gets generated. And when an ownership gets generated, it also shows that you are responsible. So a power of ownership comes with a responsible that, hey, you are the one who will be later on asked that how has this come into the system. So that's an ownership strategy. And second is a person who gets a key to modify the data will of course have an identity. So that person who's modifying the data also leaves an audit trail, and you're able to actually pinpoint the responsibility. So an audit trail is like, as I mentioned, you are walking on a very, very thin line, a very thin road in a forest where there are no roads, and you just have one given way on which you have to walk. And whenever you walk, and if the footstep, you leave a footprint of your footsteps. That exactly is audit trail. So an audit trail is a sequential time-stamped record of all the actions that are performed on a transaction or financial data. So two data points you need to take note of. One is transaction or the financial data, as I had mentioned a little while back. Also, it's very, very pertinent to really look back and see how DSC, usage of digital signatures has really changed the way we have been started doing things, right? You also see in your own way where you are generating audit numbers. You know how important it has become. Now there is no predated or backdated systems at all because of the time stamping feature that we have. So timestamp is one of the most important governance protection that has been introduced into the Indian system. So it is used to identify the source of a transaction. From where have you got it and who has punched in, as well as trace the changes made to it. And if you go to any SAP, like we use SAP in our day-to-day functioning in corporates, and maybe even, for example, in bigger audit firms, we started using SAP, etc. So we all know that you can actually trace the changes that is made to it, even to an extent of changing a small remark. So in many countries, it is a regulatory requirement to maintain an audit trail of accounting transactions. In many countries, it's there. Now, what is the benefits of audit trail? So very quickly, fraud prevention, stress-free audits. I think fraud prevention, let's take it a second step. But most importantly is stress-free audits and increased efficiency. Now let's see stress-free audits first. So if all transactions have an audit trail, an auditor can quickly determine if the transactions are valid. And auditors being able to do their work faster means, of course, less money spent on audit fees and less time spent overall. And what is fraud prevention? This goes without saying that audit trail will obviously help businesses having better control. And increased efficiency, of course, that goes without again saying that an audit trail that is comprehensive and accessible, of course, can be examined easily. It saves business time, it saves costs, and it increases efficiency. So historical record helps business information that sometimes otherwise gets buried in the books. So, when you're able to really see it well, it's like a camera. If we can just draw an analogy, it's like a camera which keeps on working. We don't know whether there is a camera there or not, but a camera is there which actually is capturing everything that you're doing, unless and above you're across the camera zone. Otherwise, it catches hold of everything. So audit trail also catches hold of everything. So what are types of audit trails? These are the few important types of audit trails. One is external audits, the other is internal audits. And there's a very interesting audit that I was reading through, that is internal revenue service audits. I'm sure we are aware of it, but let me quickly go through it, what it is. An IRS audit is a type of external audit that is fairly common, especially in the Western world, it's very common. It's typically performed when there are signs that an individual or business may not be paying the appropriate amount in taxes. Now, what is internal audit? We understand it may be about compliance, it may be operational audit, it may be financial, or it may be information technology audits. And external audit is, of course, typically performed by CA firms like yours, hired by businesses to help the business paint a clearer and more credible picture of its finances. Now, what are the challenges in maintaining the audit trail? As Mr. Ravi Patwa was also mentioning a little while back, that if the size of the audit trail is huge, then it will actually take a lot of space where you need to save it. And the data will keep on increasing. So therefore, it will also entail a larger cost in data storage and setting up and maintaining. So in many cases, keeping audits from different platforms and according to specific requirements takes time to configure, set up, and maintain. And data access control. So audit trails are fairly transparent and provide accountability. So data access controls plays a very important point. Now, I would be very keen to also tell you that the new age laws that we are seeing the advent of social stock exchange. We are also seeing how the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is playing a very forthwith role in developing the social auditors framework in the country. Now, even this very important concept of social auditors has also spoken about audit trail. So when I was trying to appear for social audit exams, I'm sure you all are aware that to become a social auditor, you need to actually appear for an examination which is being conducted by the NISM. So there I saw in the study material that is written that how social auditors chapter carries audit trail. So I thought I'll tell you about this. It is interesting to see how even the social audit network of UK defines social auditor. It says a person who chairs the social audit panel and manages the audit process at the end of each cycle, including the examination of data and the sample checking to the source. So this in itself is an audit trail and issuing the social audit statement. So you may sometimes think that audit trail is very applicable for large size data points or for huge financial data points, but really not so. So social audit would be actually, say, for example, if I'm saying that I've done 2000 eye tests. So even for that purpose, social auditor would actually see the veracity of the information that you have shared and also may see the impact assessment of those eye tests is also talking of audit trail. So audit trail has, even before the advent of audit trail in the country, has come of age and is being evoluted in the new age concepts also. So there have been various accounting scams, be it global or be it in our country, and those accounting scams actually overemphasized the concept and the need of audit trails. And I think we are so grateful to this country that even we are able to see such concepts in our lifetime. Because sometimes in maybe 5-7 years back, we thought that the country will probably just keep on going the way it is. And maybe our next generation will be able to see the new age laws and the new developments in the country. But we never thought that climate change issues will actually face us so early. And we will also be so fortunate to actually see so many beautiful changes and positive changes happening in the landscape of the regulatory features of the country. So various global accounting scams like the Satyam scandal, which happened in 2009, the Enron scandal, we have not forgotten the years, I'm sure, because they have left such a footprint and blueprint in our mind that even these years we remember, like we remember maybe Companies Act 2013. So WorldCom scam of 2002, the Freddie Mac scandal is not very well known, but I'll just talk about it a little while later, of 2003. And of course, who can forget the Lehman Brothers scandal of 2008. So I have just jotted down a few points on these scams and scandals to show you what led to audit trail. And very quickly, the Enrons, I have 10 more minutes and I'll try to wind it up. In the Enron scandal, if you see, the Enron company is actually Houston based. Just important to know a bit about it. So it was discovered in 2001 because that is how you will get the concept of audit trail. That the company had been using accounting loopholes to, just read this well, accounting loopholes, and believe me, it's true, to hide billions of dollars of bad debt while simultaneously inflating the company's earnings. The scandal resulted in shareholders losing over $74 million as Enron's share price collapsed from around $90 to under $1 within a year. So imagine what a widely seeped scandal. It actually wiped the complete shareholders' wealth. The scandal led to the bankruptcy of Enron, and the CEOs and the auditors actually were convicted. So that was when the Securities Exchange Commission investigation revealed that former CEO, etc., had kept billions of dollars of debt off the company's balance sheet. And in addition, whatever. So therefore, I'm trying to make a point here that if there is a technological system which will just not let you hide, once the entry is done, whatever you do with it, how much you wash it, how much the dirty linen is put in a bucket and wash it tepid water, all will be actually shown in the sunlight. So WorldCom scam of 2002, this company was again an American-based company out of Virginia. It was discovered that it had inflated its assets by almost $11 billion, making it by far one of the largest accounting scams. And you know how it came to light? It came to light after the company's internal audit found $3.8 billion in fraudulent accounts. So imagine an audit trail, you really don't have to see it now with a lens. You will be able to see right in front of you as to what has happened with the numbers. Have you changed, have we, for that matter, changed the accounting heads or done some treatmental issues with those figures and facts and the accounting heads. And the Freddie Mac scandal, so the Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation, also known as Freddie Mac, is again based out of Virginia. It was discovered it had misstated over $5 billion in earnings. So imagine it overstated earnings in the company's books. So it was fined up to the extent of $125 million. And who on earth can forget the Lehman Brothers scandal? I think it shook the world, not only their country, but actually it shook the entire the world. I think India was still kind of celebrating because it was a little immune from such scandals that time, but actually it had shook the world. It was one of the largest investment banks in the United States. And during the 2008 financial crisis, it was discovered that the company had hidden $50 billion in loans. Imagine. So the company had sold toxic assets to banks in the Cayman Islands on a short-term basis. So if you see even the SVB scam that we are seeing now, for which we will talk about it sometime else, I think I'll request the chairman and even Sanjeev to actually do some very important sessions on all the things that happens, like the SVB scam or something which is now happening with the largest conglomerate in the country. So you will see that this gave the impression that the company had $50 billion more in cash and $50 billion less in toxic assets. So it was understood that Lehman Brothers would buy back these assets. So it is all a gimmickry that we play and which cannot be now done because of the audit trail. Now, Satyam scandal, we're all aware, because how we saw that there was a misstatement, a huge misstatement of cash, and how falsification of accounts had happened, and how then it went under the bars. So what is the audit trail in global, what's the global practice? In United States, we have seen that the commission, which is the commission I'm talking of, the Securities and Exchange Commission, it has adopted Rule 613 to create a comprehensive consolidated audit trail that would allow regulators to efficiently and accurately. So a very important role is being played by these two words, efficiently and accurately. Now, gone are the days when you could be accurate, but you needed 2 years' time to remain accurate or to be accurate. I don't think that we are not in this world anymore when we are talking of AI and when we are talking of so many other things, which means that when we are, for example, in a Zoom meeting, we can't even wait for a minute's time if a person is late, and we start looking at the watch. Previous times, we used to wait for 5-10 minutes and think, okay, the person will at least walk down from its chair to the dais, and that takes about 2 minutes. But in today's world, we have become very, very impatient, and we also are not willing to have the tact. The turnaround time is actually negligible nowadays. So it talks about even efficiently and accurately tracking all activity throughout the US markets in national market system securities. And even the SOX Act of 2002 who doesn't know the Sarbanes-Oxley Act? So it has also said that after the scandals, it mentioned that it's very important that the publicly traded companies should actually track down the data in real-time basis. So there have been such instances where some of the institutes and regulators in Canada, Australia, and European Union have been talking about data protection guidelines, data protection regulations, auditing trail principles, etc. Now in India, what happened was, you may have known and may recollect also that we thought that from 1/4/2021, this audit trail will become mandatory. And then we saw that things actually got subdued. And then we again saw a new notification where we again got to know that the new date is 1/4/2023. And believe you me, the entire professional world were actually keeping their fingers crossed that this date should now not see any more deference and deterrence. Thankfully, we are from tomorrow, the clock will strike 1 tonight, and we will actually see the advent of this very, very important governance feature with us. So what has happened? The government of India, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, is, of course, we all understand, is working towards bringing transparency and strengthening the integrity of financial reporting. And to achieve this objective, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs actually made amendment in the company's accounts rules 2014. Who better than you who would know the company's accounts rules 2014? So it did this via a notification dated 24th March 2021. And it inserted the following first proviso in Rule 3(1) of the principal rules. I'll just show you. The main feature of this amendment is that every company, now please have this in mind. So a small company, one-person company, it doesn't matter. So it is applicable to every company. So what is the caveat? Which is using an accounting software. Which is using an accounting software should have a feature of recording audit trail of each and every transaction. So now I don't know of any company who doesn't use an accounting software. Bahi Khata is no more maintained, and be it a small accounting software or be it a very, very small accounting software, but everybody is using an accounting software. Be it a very small company or a one-person company, there will be very, very few exceptions who doesn't and who still have that red color copy where they maintain their books. Apart from that, all other companies who maintain accounts in an accounting software have to enable audit trail. Now, let me tell you, every accounting software has an audit trail. You just have to switch it on. We're all aware that sometimes that audit trail, and even before it has become mandatory, many companies have audit trail, which is switched on in the accounting software. It's not that people don't have it, but now it has become mandatory by law. So law previously could be talking about a carrot and stick policy where it says, okay, if you really have an audit trail and if your auditor suo moto is talking of it, your shareholders, your stakeholders will show a better, their heart will go out to you because you are actually taking it on your own accord and following governance systems. That was a carrot, but now there's a stick that if you don't do it, hey, come, the stick is going to fall on you. So now, as per the company's account rules 2014 notification, so this is what it is. It said very quickly, look at the middle paragraph, provided that for the financial year commencing on or after the first day of April 2021, which has now become 2023, every company which uses accounting software for maintaining its books of accounts shall use only such accounting software which has a feature of recording audit trail of each and every transaction, creating an edit log of each change made in the books of account along with date when such changes were made, and ensuring that the audit trail cannot be disabled. So this again, by way of a second amendment, it brought about and said that now it will be applicable from the first day of April 2023. So you see the first line. Then what is the reason for amending the date? And I thought, I just tell you, because within 6 months, actually, it has to be kept in it has to be taken to both the houses. So that period had elapsed, and therefore it actually had to come out with a new amendment. Otherwise, you could be thinking that why a new amendment? It could have just brought in by way of a notification. but a new amendment was necessary. So therefore, it was not possible to simply extend the effective date by way of issuing circular notification without amending the rule. So what are the other reasons for extending the due dates? So even COVID actually played a role apart from the other reasons. So countries which have issued guidelines or notification for audit trail, European Union and Bahrain, they've already done it. I thought I'll just mention it to you. See, Central Bank of Bahrain mandates for audit trail for all financial companies which has obtained license issued by Central Bank of Bahrain. But look at the audacity and the courage that our country and the current dispensation has shown. So Bahrain, I just wanted to give you these feedbacks because it's important to, nowadays we are not living in a very, look at what has happened to Google. You know, in a phone, you may have seen the CCI, the Competition Commission of India's judgment yesterday, or it was day before yesterday, where it said that how can Google actually put their own, you may have seen, put their own apps in the phone and sell. If you're doing it, you're actually curtailing competition. So that was one of the very major points why Google was fined, that you are not supposed to do that because then you're curtailing competition of the other people who are providing these softwares. So in this world today where we are living, it's very important to understand what's happening in the other countries also, because then we are able to appreciate things better. So thank you very much. I'm sorry I've just extended my time limit by 2-3 minutes. Pardon me for that. But I'm very happy to have delved into this subject. It only enriches the professional rather than anybody else. I've always felt that such sessions is very, very enriching for the entire community. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mamta, for taking time and running through the entire presentation in such small span of time. There are few questions if you would like to please answer. You are on mute, Mamta.
I'll share this PPT with the organizers. If the organizers wishes to circulate, they may be at a free will to do so.
Apart from that, there are 2-3 questions. Would you like to answer now or a later point of time?
I'll take it later, Sumit. I have to.
No worries, no worries. Thank you so much, Mamta. Okay.
Sumitji, you're on mute. Sumitji, you're on mute.
Sorry. So anybody who is sharing their membership number over Zoom, request that there is again a trail here. So that trail will capture all your numbers. So please don't, bombard the chat box with membership number. We are in a session of audit trail and let the trail be there. So don't worry about the CP credits. With this, I'll briefly introduce Venugopal sir. And at the same time, I'll share his profile over. Right. So sir is a speaker. Sorry. I've been listening him. So for me, he's a speaker. So Venugopal sir is a founder, partner in Venu and Vinay Chartered Accountants, and he's been working since 2002.
I think I will spend more time in the session.
I'll just briefly introduce him one line, sir. So what impacts, he's even secured rank 45 in ICAI exams, and his profile is shared here, and we'll just, and he's a regular speaker for GST. At the same time, he has automated few functions of Excel. So it's up to you, sir. So I'll just stop share the screen and the entire session is yours. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. So at the outset, I congratulate EIRC for bringing this session in such a brief time. And also I appreciate the participants, their interest and willingness to adopt this change from 1st April. It is coming up and you are here. And I also thank our co-speaker Mamta Madam and Sarita ji for joining the session. My topic is how do we maintain trail in Tally. The Tally has come up a version called Audit Log. By the way, that is a new other feature, new other prime. So members should be aware like how we have to adopt. So I'll also share you how this has to be used and some of the features and the topic, both live I'll be sharing you. And if you have any questions relating to Tally, please put it in your Q&A section. We'll be taking all the questions at the end. As you are aware about the MCA notification, which though it has come in 24th March 21, with various reasons it got delayed, and hopefully it will be implemented from 1st April 23 without any further delay. Yeah, as of now there is no extension, so which means it is live. And I would wish that this is a welcome move. Of course, it brings challenges, there's no doubt. But yes, it also brings onus on the companies to now track what is happening. And as Madam mentioned about various frauds, now at least there is a trail that is going to be there. So having said that, is Tally ready? Can I now say from 1st April, if I am using accounting software as a Tally, should I now go ahead and look for something else, a different software? Is it worth doing overnight? The answer to it, yes. There is another version of the Tally which is called Edit Log. Now, all that you need to do is your upgrade to Tally Prime Edit Log. Your books of accounts are automatically taken care. Now, you also have a flexibility to operate your Tally Prime with the existing license and also Edit Log. You might have set of clients who doesn't need Audit Log version. Their data can be in the Tally Prime version, and there's some data where they, let's say you're in a corporate, but you also maintain the accounts for the group companies and the entities, owners, and other things. Who needs an audit log, who doesn't need an audit log. So in a single license, single TSS subscription instance, both these apply, so you don't need to worry. Now, what are the features that are there in the Tally Prime Audit Log? We know there are earlier versions of the Tally, which is EIRC 9. There is a feature called Tally Audit in these features. There is another application or another version which we are going to talk today. This is Edit Log, where in the Tally, in a normal Tally Prime, you will be seeing this color without anything text. But if you are using a Tally Edit Prime Log, you will be seeing that, okay, an EL, which is Edit Log, on the logo of the Tally. The application will show up this. It means you are using a software with the Edit Log. If you are using the Tally Prime and MCA is not applicable, the conditions of the MCA is not applicable. Even there, you also have an option for Edit Log. So in the Tally solutions, when you go to the download, what you see on the screen at the bold is this Tally Prime release. But what you have to download is Tally Prime Edit Log. Both would be available for download. Both will work parallelly. So you need to see which application you are installing. You can install, you can override the original application. You can also install a fresh. If you are using the Tally Prime, there is a feature in the Tally Prime called Enable Audit Features. Enable Audit Features. This has an audit log, but this is not sufficient to comply with MCA provisions. Please note, if you are using Tally Prime and you have enabled this Tally and audit features, it does the tracking of the data, but this is not fully compliant with the MCA. If you got to be in fully compliant with MCA, you have to have this Tally Prime Edit Log. Okay, what I'll do, yeah, so when you open it, you will see this on the screen. You are seeing this Tally Prime. In your normal Tally, you will not be seeing, you will be seeing this as Tally Prime, but here you are seeing Edit Log. The moment if you see this Edit Log, this means this is a software compliant with MCA. This is one key change you need to be ensuring of, that is this Edit Log enabled. This is what you need to look at it. And without disrupting any of the business process, you can have the Edit Log be installed. Let me do a quick product walkthrough and Let me share my full screen. So on my screen, you can see there are two things. I have tally prime edit log and I also have tally prime, which means both applications work together, can coexist together. That is something which you need to be paying attention to. Let me open the tally prime edit log application. So here is the tally prime edit log, and let me open a company audit log. So the moment you open a prime edit log, you can see this as edit log. The questions that people get is, how do I differentiate? How do I differentiate between the edit tally prime edit log version and the original version? Let me open parallelly the tally prime, the same company for tally prime. Now, if I open the same company for tally prime, can I parallelly work? The answer is no. You will not be able to parallelly work the same thing. The data is migrated to a newer version. If I go to tally, the same company audit log, you can see here it says migration required. It says migration required, which means I am trying to downgrade to the tally prime audit log. People always have this question that, okay, if I have some entries to be corrected and changed, can I go to a lower version and do an alter and change and come back? Let's see a trial of that. So what we will do is we'll also see post some entries in the audit log version and edit them in the regular version and see how the behavior of that happens. So firstly, the user should generally not expected to disable the edit log. But however, even if the disable is done, unfortunately, once a data is opened in edit log, the edit log features are associated with the data. Even you downgrade and move to tally prime, please note the edit log features are working. And the auditor has also an access to see on what number of occasions the user has played a mischief in downgrading to a normal version and upgrading later to a different version. Even if you downgrade, make some entries, alter it, delete it, you will have all those tracked inside the tally data. Even after you rewrite the books of accounts, those data will not get deleted. It would be part of the data entry, and one has to necessarily keep track that, okay, once an entry is once opened with the edit log, it is like eternally, it has the audit features enabled. It's an inbuilt capability which is built into the tally prime. Please note, it is only in the tally prime, not in the ERP9. So what information gets logged? As the earlier session speaker mentioned, every change has to be logged. Even if someone is changing some comments, someone making some comments narration, all that information is logged. The change in voucher type, if the change in the user, a user A has entered and it is altered by B, all that is tracked. I might change the financial transaction. Amount can be changed from 25,000 to 26,000 or 52,000. Tracked. Nothing of the financial transactions are changed. A content in the narration has been changed. Tracked. Both inventory vouchers, non-inventory vouchers is tracked. I am not changing anything in my transaction by but master data is changed. Let's say Venugopal is having some bank account number. Now that number is changed, or my address is changed. Every of this is also logged, and it will be tracked. You will be able to see. If someone is disabling it, that is also tracked. If someone is altering it in a non-edit version of the tally prime, even those changes are tracked. Everything is tracked. The only thing which is might be not required, what is not tracked is at the company master level, some information is changed, which is like company like address related, which are very few fields. Only that is right now not tracked, but every financial information, voucher level, transaction level, and the ledger, master, stock group, inventory level, all any changes that you do is completely tracked in the software. Again, I'll show you a demo. So inside your voucher, once you do a data entry, inside your voucher, there is something called related reports. What are the other related reports that are available? The moment you click on the related reports, it will be showing you a feature, a new feature called edit log. This was not there in the earlier thing. You will see that there is a feature called edit log that would show up. That means every edit that happens will it show. The moment you click on the edit log, it will show how many times this voucher has been altered, who has originally created with the username, on what date and time. Basically, I have just created some instances to show it to you. Like today at evening 3:22, it has been created and it has been altered once by A, once by B, once by A. Every such alteration is tracked. So inside each voucher, I'm able to see every change that has gone through to it, it will be available. And same like going vouchers page up, page down, you will be easily be able to navigate and see the changes. And the change is so beautifully tracked, an auditor will know what are the changes that have happened. For example, you pick the entry 4 and you see what is the change that has happened. It will start comparing one version to another version. At version number 3, these were the values. Move to version number 4. Who was the username in version 3 and who was the one who altered this? In fact, there was a question that came up in the chat. Can a backdated entries will be tracked? If you look at it, this transaction date is 9th April 21, but the posting date is, original date is 31st March 23. Everything of that is tracked. It also tracks, make sure that, please note, it also tracks if you have changed. Here I have changed some address. It has got nothing to do with my financial information. It also tracks the changes that have happened into the non-financial information. And this is the kind of expectation in the audit log feature. Now, given that so much of the information is getting tracked and Tally as an application is not expected for a large volume of data, is it now every voucher, every change, is it going to become bulky? The answer to it, when I looked into their textual thing, they said the data size, yes, expected to increase, but it is going to increase marginally because we are only tracking the changes. And however, with the large number of changes that happens, definitely there is going to a change that happens. So based on the questions, very many people who used to call me and ask about what are the things that have to be logged in and what the changes that would be captured, I thought some of the key FAQs I will put it up. Then I will go and do a demo of the product. Firstly, this edit log, can I print it? Yes, you can just print against each voucher. You can print the edit log. And this edit log, can I control using the security features? Like we all know in Tally, we can create more security features, create like an owner, data entry, different type of security levels. And can I restrict? See, as long as the person who has a view or alter access, he will also have an option to see the edit log. Even if you change an entry from optional to regular, the moment you mark an entry as optional, it doesn't participate into the financial statement. You will have an entry in the books of accounts, but it will not, when you see the P&L balance sheet or ledger balances, the optional entries do not participate into the financials. So change from optional to financial is optional to regular is a huge change. That is why it will show up in your log. Change from post dated to current dated, it is only participating into the bank balance reconciliation. That wouldn't impact. Now, how does it will show up when you select the transactions? Let's say I select the day book. I have an option asking for, can you show me list of the vouchers where the change has happened? Can you show me list of the vouchers that have changed? I can select all vouchers, only altered vouchers, or vouchers that have not been altered. A very important thing, people also ask, okay, I will delete the voucher itself from the system. Now, then where is the question of the trail? It also tracks the moment you may hit the delete button. It has gone out from your ledger system, daybook and voucher, but that information is stored back into the system. How many number of times you do a rewrite, plain rewrite, hard rewrite, those entries will stay into the application, because these are the expectation of a software to have the audit trail. So the audit log version of this will also track this. Questions that also have come up that, okay, in one go, can I see list of entries, the changes that have happened? Is it possible to export it? As of now, no. Because if you see the voucher, that one voucher which I have shown you, version 3, version 4, each changes that have shown up. Maybe it's complicated to show all the edit logs, but voucher by voucher, you can do it. Can this be, can the sharing changes in Excel files? Right now, you can put it into a PDF. Okay, you can export it. Can you apply a filter on the transactions? Yes, you can apply a filter on the transactions. You can see altered or edit transactions. You can drill down into each transaction. Right now, that's the only feature that is there from the analysis perspective, because we as an auditors, we would like to see each of the changes that have been made. I cannot see it in bulk, but I can see list of all the entries where the change has happened. And the data, will the data becomes after moving to the previous version, will it be parallelly work? Answer is no. It will show migration is required. You got to migrate it. What happens if I split the tally data? Will this log option will go up? So even when you split the tally data, it will retain both the companies, because when you split the tally data, the master features which are created to it is always attached to it. So even after you split the tally data, the audit log which has been created gets attached to it. Next question that always also people used to ask me is, will this completely get erased? I have put it in highlight in a red color. Is there is no option to remove or erase the edit log. Once you activate the edit log, that means even if it's assuming not applicable, for some reason you have activated it, this is going to be there permanently. What happens if the data gets synced through APIs? Today we have also seen people use Excel to push the data and various modes. So data which is pushed to the various modes, these are the vouchers which are created. The status would be set as sync or import into the data exchange. And these masters which are updated directly through the database. At this point, the functionality of it, while I was testing it, that's not, I think maybe in the next version, they will also have appropriate reporting tool, reporting information. When the data, instead of doing the front end screen, doing a data entry, I am pushing into the back end using an API. In those situations, the reporting of it will say the data came through sync or imports. Okay. What all information is tracked? Entire history of the ledgers, ledger group, stock items at creation, alteration, deleting, after deleting, resaving it, canceling, optional, all this is tagged. Everything is tracked and tagged. If I customize a tally, like there are many companies where they customize the tally and they create a new UDF, user defined fields, where they track some additional information to those user defined fields. The question that came up is, okay, if I am altering any user defined fields, will that also be tracked? Answer is yes, even those will get tracked, but it will say that, okay, a user built data has been changed. And can I build a customization and get some reports on it? Even you can add your own reports to the edit log. You cannot change the edit log, but you can put more conditions and put a filter to the edit log. Today, Tally has come on reports on the browser, which is very popularly used by many finance CFOs and others. Will this edit log currently is available on the browser and mobile reports? The answer is no. the changes which happened is not there on the mobile and browser, it's only on the at the screen level. The data which is backed up and restored, most of the times the data is sent from the client version to the audit environment, auditor office, and they copy paste, restore, retry. Where in those situations, if there is a version change, will there be any impact on it? There will not be any impact. Like most of the time, people go either at the front end of the tally, take a backup and zip the backup file and send it, or directly they go to the data folder, right click on the data, zip that and send it. In both the cases, the edit log would be maintained and it cannot be disabled. Can I just delete the edit logs? Can I trace which are the files in the tally to delete it? The answer is no. These are inherently attached to the transaction level master. So these cannot also be deleted. So before I move to the next level of the discussion, let me get into a product demo showing two features. First, editing the modifications to the masters and transaction. Second, editing, moving the company from the edit log to the normal and normal to the edit log, how the functionality behavior happens. So let me go to the demo, and I think everyone are able to see my tally screen now. So I moved from the PPT to tally. Okay. So this is the normal version. You can see here the edit log is not there. This is normal version. So it is saying as migration required. So let's go to the edit log version. On the right side below, you can see tally prime edit log. Now this is the edit log version. Now in my daybook, there are some entries which I have already posted. So I have altered a couple of entries. So how do I see the entries that have those entries which have been altered? You can always see the vouchers only which have been altered. You can see them. And one of the entries, when you apply the filter to it, when you apply the filter to it, see the value currently, the basis of the value you are seeing is all entries. Now the basis of the value, I will only change to altered entries. Let's say this basis of the value, I am moving from all vouchers to altered vouchers. So I have altered 2-3 vouchers. Yeah, these 3 vouchers which got altered, only those are being shown up. And let's say, let us delete one voucher for the sake of thing. Let's delete. I have deleted one entry. In the basis of the values, you want to see include delete vouchers, and I'm only seeing the altered vouchers. You can see that there is a voucher which is deleted. Even deleted voucher is also visible. There is a original. This is the previous record. This is the original. And who has deleted? This is deleted by A. So it will also show you the change. Now between version 1 to version 2, what is the change? There are no values in version 2. In version 1, all the entries are there. In the version 1, all the entries are there. In version 2, there is no entry. So you will also be able to see the vouchers that are deleted. What is the value of the delete that has happened? Now in the vouchers, there is an alteration that has happened. How do I see? You have to enter into the voucher. You have to enter inside the voucher. And there is something called related reports. There are something called related reports. In the related reports, you can see this edit log. Alt Q, there is something called edit log. You hit this edit log, it will show you what are the alterations that has happened, and it will show you multiple trails. Now, for the sake of our understanding, let us alter this. Firstly, I am in the user A. Let me change the user to user B. So I'm changing the user, and I'm saying as this is the user, and let's say what is the change? Okay, this April 30th April, there is a receipt of cash by 25,000. So I'm changing this entry to 25th April, and instead of cash, I'm moving it to, let's say, HDFC Bank, and instead of this customer, I'm moving to 3M customer. And let's say the amount instead of 25,000, I'm making it as 52,000. Like literally everything has changed, right? And I am making that, okay, this is a entry altered by user B for our easy reference. So I am making this change and accepting this. Now, in my daybook, I will filter for altered vouchers only. And let's change the full period. So if you see in the altered vouchers that are there, these are the 3 vouchers that which got altered that would show up. The question that people have is the user entry was person A and alteration was done by person B. When this change happens, will it show all the entries? So let's pick this receipt, which has happened 52,000. And what are all my changes that have happened? Let us see this. The originally entry was created by A. When I enter it, there was nothing on the left side. The right side was the change. So from nothing, it got changed to 1. So here I can also enter plus command and minus command. Now I'm going, I want to go 1 level above. So in version 2, there was a change that has happened. Version 3 was the latest change that we have done now. So what was the change that happened in version 3? The version 2 was entered at 31st March 427. And now, right now on 31st March at 6:16 p.m., we have made some change. You can see the changes that have happened. All the changes that have happened are showing in red color. All the changes that have happened is showing in the red color. If the user itself who has changed is also B, it has changing originally was A, but now it is changed to B. So it is showing you all the changes that have happened here, including the changes where there is a narration change that has happened. So where there is a change in your narration, all those changes are tracked with the party name, payee details, everything which has been changed, all that is being showed. Originally narration was showing as posted, but now that narration is showing as entry is altered by user B. So this way, there is a complete trail of the changes, whether whichever the user who is doing the data entry, there is a trail. Now the people get a question that, okay, I will move this, I'll downsize this and go to another version. So what I'll do, I am shutting this company. I am shutting this company in my edit log. I will open this company in my normal, which is not an edit log version. It asks for migration. Let me migrate the thing. So do you want to migrate? Let me, yes, I want to migrate this. I am migrating this data. I'm downgrading. After migrating, I am also altering. I'm saying enable edit log feature. I don't want to enable my edit log features. Okay. Let me change this instead of audit log version. This was no log version. So I'm just making this as no log version. So I've just changed the company name. So for the ease, in the no log version, there is, please note, I have disabled the tracking of audit features. So it is not audit log. I have also disabled the tracking of audit log features. Now, what do we do? Let's go to my data. Let's pick, okay, there is one payment, say yes bank to the thing. Here I am saying this payment instead of yes bank, I am saying this is payable to XYZ customer, and some new reference just changed. Okay, we have made some changes to the transaction. Non-audit log, I have just made a change. We are making an entry. Okay, just for our reference that, okay, will this entry has any log? So in my basis of the thing, I will, let's go to the history here. Sorry. Yeah. So you can see that you still have a trail. This is the audit log. This has inbuilt. Now let me rewrite the books of accounts. Let's say that we'll try rewriting and see if this gets deleted. Okay. I have shut this company and I am saying Alt Control R, rewrite this non-edit log, and I will, you don't need to take a backup. So I am rewriting the books of accounts, okay, so that this is downgraded, moved to a non-edit log version and without the audit, and we have made some changes and downgraded. Now we'll also see a feature what happens even after removing everything and rewriting the books, which means it's like completely in the way the audit tally works is when you're rewriting, it will only pick the values that are participating into the financial statements, and any other features that are there, like UDFs that have been created, if there are no associated things, they'll all parked somewhere. You will not be able to get it. So now I have done the rewrite. Now as this rewrite happens, let's just complete the other portion of discussions that that are there. The people ask the question in the FAQ. Yeah. So the question that is there is the 7 years or 8 years from GST, income tax, MCA, the records to be maintained. Will the log get associated separately? Like when we say separately, we all know the files that are there in the tally data. These are the additional data files that gets associated. Let me show up those files. So let me open the tally data. This is the audit log. This is the folder where we are working. These are the transaction files which are associated, and people who are and pro users, they know, okay, this is my transaction manager. There are the stats are tracked in stat manager. My quick reports are linked here. So the company information here. People also have an ability to create something there and bring it here. Now, when I do things like that, will can alteration of that, will it enable user to automatically move it? Again, the answer is no, because this is an audit log that has been created. So once you have enabled the audit log and you do whatever be the features, because it is inbuilt to the tally prime, these are going to stay for a longer period, and these are getting associated to the tally data. It is not that this is independent and one has to do separately. Okay. Any questions to the participants so far? Put your questions in the Q&A.
So there are multiple questions, but would you take that on a later point of time? Or?
I think, yeah, maybe I think we will take after the Sarita ji completes the session. In fact, this has the data of the earlier periods. I should have split the data before doing the rewrite. But yeah, nevertheless, I think we have almost reached the 90%. So yeah, so let us just now, because this is common thing, people always look at, okay, how do I bypass the security controls? How do I move? So now we have rewritten the data and I am in the silver prime. You can see that migration is not required, which means this is perfect data. Now I'm going to my tally prime. So I am opening this. This is my edit log version. So, and let me migrate to the edit log. We have come into the edit log. In the edit log, now you can see the data on 1st April I have changed this entry from HDFC. It was Yes Bank. We have changed it to the XYZ customer. Then we have removed, rewritten it. Let's see whether in my other reports, will it be there? Unfortunately, the answer is yes. Even if you rewrite it, even if you downgrade it, do whatever, the data is associated back here into it, and this is going to stay for longer period, right? So I think we will have to spend more time on the questions. So what I'll do is I will complete the whatever your questions, please put it into the Q&A. We'll take in the Q&A section. And I will complete my presentation at this point and have Sarita ji to talk about the controls that are there in Zoho, and we'll come back to the questions once again. Thank you, Sumit ji.
Thank you, sir. So as we speak, we have more than 860 participants and 69 questions. So we need to spend good time, and I think we'll, as after the end of the session, Sarita ji, we'll have an open house so we can answer as many questions as possible. Right. And just to do a small formality, I'll briefly introduce Sarita ji. So she is a fellow chartered accountant with of ICAI. She's an expert in both Indian and US accounting, and has been leading a US operation of Cloud Info Solution, a company that provides bookkeeping and accounting services for more than 500 clients. The best line, she's been trained, she has trained more than 500 CAs, and the best line I like about the profile is, every time I get an opportunity to read, is that she has automated several hundred man hours of operation in her company and is keen to leverage technology to automate routine tasks. So with this, I welcome Sarita ji, and the session is all yours now.
Sumit, there's one thing which I want to just say in between is, did we answered all the questions which were raised in the Q&A section? So we are
we are yet to do it, sir. We didn't answer the question.
We'll try to make as much as possible justice. I've been seeing a question coming 2-3 times. Devayan or Venugopal sir would be able to help. That is it applicable to OPC or a turnover? Is there any turnover limit for that? Or is it applicable to LLP? To my understanding, that it is not applicable to LLP. Is it right or wrong?
No.
Is it applicable to LLP? No. And then is there any turnover limit or any limit, SME company, non-SME? I think it's applicable to all board of companies. It has to be.
Also have a good software.
Right.
So anyway, Sumit, what you should do is, if you can put together all the questions, and just if there are common questions, filter that out and then get ready with the questions by that.
Do that, sir. Don't worry.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know you will do the best justice to what you are doing.
I'll try to, because I have maximum time. We are as participants, so I understand the pain. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A very good evening to all.
Sorry, one small interruption. There was 2 questions. Would like request you to please answer that. One is that will the recording be available to all the PPTs? And third, with the mail, can you please forward the institute guidelines so that everybody is benefited?
So the implementation guide was already shared by me in the chat box when we started the program. Okay, but since it has been requested, what we will do is we will also send it once again when we send the email. Yes, the YouTube recording will also be shared, and the PPTs as and when shared by the speakers, we will be able to share with all.
Thank you so much for finding out time and replying. And the link is for the implementation guide is available. If anybody wants to download, can download. Thank you, Sarita. You can please take over the session.
Thank you. A very good evening to all. I would like to thank Chairman Devayan Patro and Sanjeev sir to give me this opportunity. And it is a great privilege to talk in the same platform wherein my mentors and my kind of inspiration are speaking, like Venu sir and Mamta ma'am. So I hope I will be able to justify my role over here. So I think explaining how does audit trail feature works in Zoho Books won't take much time, because it is an inbuilt feature which was from the very start when Zoho Books started. So I would just like to point out few of the points which has been mentioned in the ICAI guidelines regarding this audit trail. So first of all, like there are many questions also in the group regarding electronic mode. Yes, this rule is applicable only for electronic mode. If someone is maintaining it in manual books of accounts, they do not need to maintain any audit trail because it is not possible. So yes, many of us would be moving back to the Munimji style of maintaining books of accounts to avoid the audit trail feature or to get into these hassles. But sooner or the later, we all will have to come to the audit trail feature as and when our books grows bigger and we do not find auditors who are ready to audit our books when we are maintaining it manually. So instead of avoiding it and thinking it to move to a manual books of accounts, it's good that we start using this feature, get into the softwares, understand it, and try to follow it, because sooner or the later we have to come to this feature. So this was one of the point. Second important thing is, while choosing the software, we need to ensure that we are able to keep the audit trail for 8 years. That is the requirement. Audit trail has to be there for the 8 years. So in case the software is not providing you the audit trail for a period of 8 years, we need to see that we are downloading the audit trail and keeping it as an audit document for the auditors. So that was another point which we need to consider it. It's good. It is better that we use the software which will maintain that audit trail in the software itself for 8 years. So that that audit trail, which is again printed from a software, not sure how far it would be trusted in the future. Now, second very important, the third very important point which we all need to see to it is, now, suppose it says that any kind of transaction which affects or which makes our books of accounts, that kind of transaction has to have an audit trail. Now, let's take an example that this question also came to my mind when we read about this audit trail, that since this audit trail is for my books of accounts, how about I use a separate software for my sales, and then again a separate software for my payables, and then I just take summarized entries from these softwares and pass journal entries in my accounting software. Will that suffice my audit trail feature which I need to keep? No. If we are using softwares which forms an integral part of our books of accounts, even if it is a separate software, like if we use a CRM to record the sales entry for creating sales invoices, that software should itself have the audit trail feature, because that would be considered as an integral part for your books of accounts, and the transactions recorded over there has to have audit trails if you are just bringing journal entry into your accounting software. So that won't solve our purpose if we are thinking of maintaining different softwares for sales, for bills, and then just passing journal entry in our accounting software. So that opportunity or that option is also not available. So we need to have a full-fledged system wherein any of the transaction which forms a part of our books of account has an audit trail. Now, one more point which came to my notice is that if an auditor is auditing a foreign company, then also you need to have then also the auditor need to ensure that the audit trail feature is available in that accounting software which is being maintained by the foreign company. In that case, it doesn't mean that if it is a foreign company, we need to apply the rules or the regulations of that country. It has to be the rules and regulations of our country, even if it is a foreign company. So there also the audit trail feature becomes important. Now, let me share my screen. So, just a minute.
Previously, it was shared, Sarita ji.
Yeah. Yes. Is my screen visible? Right. So in Zoho Books, it takes care of all 4 questions which comes into our mind, which is required, in fact, for the audit trail feature, where what, when, and who. So the first question is where, like where this transaction is recorded in Zoho books, whether it has like whatever entry we have done, is it related to invoice, is it related to bills, is it related to bank feed, expenses, any kind of transaction, in which module we have done any activity, it will take care of all kind of transactions wherever it be in the entire software, and it will record the audit trail. Second is what changes has been made or what has been done as an activity, whether we have created a new transaction, whether we have edited the date, amount, split line, we have added any document, any kind of transaction, any kind of changes, edits has been done in the books of accounts would be recorded. It will take care of the date as well as the time when the action was done, both for the creation of the new transaction as well as any edits, and it will also show us which user has created this transaction. Now, talking about which user, now it becomes important for us that we get out of the habit of sharing our user ID and password with our team member to enter the transaction. Each user in our organization now should have their own user ID and password to manage the books of accounts, to create the transaction, so that they are liable for their action for any edits or any addition which they do in the books of accounts. Because what happens is, if we, when we are maintaining the books of accounts, if we try to see the audit trail from the auditor's point of view, it becomes easy for us to answer the questions to the auditor when it comes to audit at the year end. Since this feature is new for all of us, we need to get into habit of checking the audit trail on regular basis and asking questions to our users that why a particular change was made and why wasn't it taken care of while creating the new transaction. Now, let's go to Zoho Books and see how does this feature works. So here I'm logged in into Zoho Books. A minute. I'm in the home page. First of all, since it is an inbuilt feature in Zoho Books, we don't need to make any changes if we are using Zoho Books. We don't need to go to any settings. We don't need to migrate the books, and we don't need to do any kind of changes in the preferences or in the settings of the Zoho Books. This feature was available from the very first day when the Zoho Books was launched. When we go to the report section, on the top, we can type in activity log. We get the report, activity log and audit trail, or else if we scroll down at the end, we have a report section of activity. There the second report is activity logs and audit trail. From anywhere we can go and click on it. So if we come over here, we have a few options over here. First option is we can check the audit trail on monthly basis, or if we want to see it for previous month or any kind of date options we want, we can check it from here. Or if the date option which we are looking for is not available here, we can click on custom, change the date range and see the audit trail for that particular period. We can customize the report from here, whatever we want. If we want to show or hide any column, we can add that. Or else if we want to filter anything, it can be filtered. So customization is available over here. Second thing is we can export the activity log into Excel, PDF, CSV, and XLS. Whatever extension we are comfortable with, we can export the file. If we want, we can print the audit log, as well as we can share the audit trail report to the users. Now, so it's good that we can share it, or also we can schedule the report in case we want to send the monthly audit reports or the audit trail report to our auditor. We can schedule the report so that it goes to the auditor by itself on a monthly basis. Now, the best part is if we are using Zoho Books, what we can do is to avoid any of the users except admin or the management level users to make any changes in a closed month. Every month, once the transactions are entered and we know that the books are closed for that particular month, we can close it with a password, so that the user who does not have the password, even if they want, they can't make any changes on those monthly transactions. That way, we can avoid of answering so many questions of the audit trail. Why was this changes made? Why was this entry made so late? Though obviously those answers, we have those answers, but to avoid, if we have multiple users using the same books of accounts to enter the transactions or to do the different activities, we can close the book on monthly basis. Now let's go and check the activity log. Here is the activity log. It starts with date. So it gives us the date. It gives us the activity detail, what was the activity which was done, with the description that the change was made in the bill by Saurav Sarkar. And what was the activity log which got created? It was a new transaction which was added. And then when we come over here, there was another transaction where there was an updation in the purchase order. So if we go to the detail view audit trail, we can see what was that update done. In the same way, if we just scroll down, any activity which is done, if we add a document, if we add a masters, if we refresh the bank feed, which is a good feature of Zoho Books, that it syncs with the bank, all these things comes as an activity log for the each and every user. So we can check it by user, we can check it by date range, whatever way we want, we can check it. Now let's see. Here we have a transaction 5217, and it has several audit trails. We made a couple of changes to just understand. So let me click on this, view audit trail. So if we come over here, we see that the original transaction was done on 4th of April, 3rd of April 2022 at 5:15 p.m. by Saurav Sarkar. So this is our original transaction. If we click on this, we don't see any change. It's the original transaction which was done. So this is the first set of transaction. Now the version 2 says us that there was some changes done. If I click on this, it has various color code for changes done. So here also again, there was some changes which was done. Let me check the next one. Yes, let me compare it. Give me a minute. So yeah, we click on compare and we click on various version we want to compare. So 2 at a time can be compared. I clicked on 2 of them. Let me check the 8th one and the first one, and I click on compare. As soon as I click on compare, it compares with the original versions. It gives me the version name. It was version 1 compared with version 8, and what all changes was done has been highlighted. So if anything is modified, it will be highlighted in yellow. If anything is removed, it will be highlighted in pink. And if anything is added, it will be highlighted in green. Added means if I add a new document to it or any such thing, it will be highlighted in green. So if I scroll down, so the status was changed from open to overdue because the transaction became overdue now. The rate was changed, the amount was changed. Earlier the rate was 15 and then amount was 90. So as soon as the rate changed, the amount changed, though the amount changed by itself, but it is a change in the activity or the transaction. It highlighted this as well. The account name was changed. So subtotal also got changed, though these are interrelated, that if this amount changes, this will also change, but still it will highlight it wherever any kind of change is identified in the transaction. Once it is entered, it highlights each one of them this way, and all the changes are highlighted over here. Then a document was attached, which is again highlighted in green over here. It says us, and this way we can compare any versions of the transactions. So now it is version 7. Now it gives me all the changes. So any small little changes can also be checked from the version. Let me go back. So this way in Zoho Books, since all the reports, like entire audit trail report is in one place, it becomes easy for us to identify, to address it, and to see that beforehand, even before the auditor asking us question, we can just check it and see slowly and slowly we can train the team that whatever changes they make, they should try to keep it to the minimum level, and wherever required, if required, they can put a note when they make a change. So suppose if I go to this transaction, if anyone is, if any of the team member make any changes, we have places over here. So this was a transaction wherein we can see a very small little change, a document was attached later on. So this we know is not an issue. If we got the document later, we just wanted to come and attach it. We have an answer to it that we did not have the document earlier. Later on, we came and attached it. So this ways we can just keep a catch, keep an eye, and see that our team is answerable for the own entry and the changes which they make. I think in Zoho Books, this single report covers everything. There is no setting change which I need to show you, or any place where we need to go to manage this audit trail. In case you want, you can click on any transaction. And over here also, if you want on a particular transaction, you can see entire history. So comment and history, here it shows from the very start till today, whatever changes or whatever like kind of addition or deletion has been made to a particular transaction. So I think Venu sir, as far as software goes, whatever I had to show, I've showed it. We can open the forum for questions for 15 minutes because there are lots of questions.
Questions, I know.
Sarita, can you stop share? Request to do so. Thank you so much. Venu sir, you are there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's here.
Yes, sir. Sir, we can start the marathon.
Yeah.
So, sir, before we start, I was able to just glance through a little. So 2-3 basic questions. One is that if I don't have an account set up, like we as professional are maintaining the company's data, then how would be the audit log enabled or disabled, or it can be so that 6 months I have prepared, 6 months some other professional has prepared. So data keeps on moving on a email or a typical pen drive kind of situation. Second is elaborating more a little on this, that I am a chartered accountant. I maintain book for one is a company and second is a LLP. So do I maintain 2 tally, or I don't want that LLP to LLP or other than companies to follow that audit trail? How do I deal with this? And third, a very common question is that, what is the timeline? So if I do a monthly accounting, or I have a small, accounts like 5, 10, 15 an investment company, 15 line items of entry. So usually people pass ideally on 6 months or yearly entries. So how do you deal with that? So these questions for initially, then we'll take up rest questions.
All right. And also one small request is, at a time, don't post too many questions. Okay. So the first and foremost, as a professionals, when we maintain books of accounts for multiple set of clients where they need MCA audit log and others doesn't need MCA audit log, we need to use their data. So as I've shown you, there is a tally prime, which is regular, tally prime edit log. So user needs to know which one they have to click. On the desktop, I have shown you the both images were there. In the edit log, you will find EL in the thing. That is the point number 1. Point number 2, where you are doing the bookkeeping once on a weekly basis, fortnightly or a monthly basis. While doing that, it's like it itself is indicating that you are doing a backdated transaction. See, it doesn't mean that when I'm doing bookkeeping on 31st March, all the entries I'll post on 31st March. I would be posting on a backdated date. Absolutely, there is no violation of the law when you are doing a backdated entries. The law doesn't say that you should not do a backdated entries. It's just that you need to have a trail of the entries that are happening. You can never imagine that on 31st March, someone will close their unbilled revenue, close their bank reconciliation. Even on the date of the audit, 30th September tax audit date, you will realize some depreciation entry not post, 12 months salary not post, some travel advance spending, some are the entries that would be there. The objective is track all that entries, the changes that are happening. That is the objective. To answer the last question, if someone is moving in at the middle of the year to the audit log, and how do as an auditor I comment? Even there, if you have seen in the company master, it will say on what date the audit log has been enabled. You will also be able to see in between someone has moved out from audit log and tried to move to a lower version, again upgraded to higher version. It tracks everything. Basis that as an auditor, whatever the comment that we want to give in our audit report, we can take the call.
Right. Continuing to that only, there was a question that what is the role of an auditor for the reporting of audit logs?
Yeah, in the CARO, we have a specific comment that we have to give. So the role of auditor is to really comment that whether the mandatory audit trail is there in the accounting software or not. So that is what that has been given, the legal provision in my the company's account rule, both from the company side and from the in the audit report in the clause Z, where we will be saying whether the company has used such an accounting software for maintaining its books of accounts, wherein the audit log. So there we have to give our comment, how well we have satisfied it. Yes, yes, no, no. All those questions that have been asked, where it has been maintained throughout the year, whether the audit trail is not tampered and it is being preserved for the statutory requirements. All these points we have to question. So for which we need to have our trail. On what basis we are giving an affirmative statement in my CARO that this is okay.
So one, I believe, sir, one small question would arise in my mind that, so if I have a single license, can I have two options in Tally, one with a log and one without log, correct?
Yes, 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 yes. So the license serial number is the same. So you will have with the log, without, it's the same serial number subscription.
In this context only, there was a question that the question is, if edit log is enabled in Tally from 1/4/2023, what will happen to the data before 31st March 23? So in that case, we have to keep the March till March data, means financial year 22-23 data in non-edit log, and probably we'll have to split it and then keep 23 onwards in another Tally, right?
Yeah, if you split it and maintaining it separately, well and good, no issue. If you have activated, let's say, if you have moved the Tally from the Tally Prime to edit log on 1st April 23, if you are correcting any entries after 1st April 23, which might be pertaining to the financial year 2023 also, the log will start maintaining it. The log will be maintained.
One small question, can we export the edit log from Tally to Excel and analyze the data for Tally?
As of now, no. You can only print each log to log. You can print it. Right now, there is no feature to export because they the way you have seen version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4 against each entry. What are all the changes that have been happening is tracked. So the entry by entry, you can export it. All the log, the edits that have happened in one go. Right now, that export feature is not there. It is tracked. The requirement of the law is it has to be logged and tracked. The requirement is not for us to export and do some more analysis. Maybe those kind of features are very small. It will come in the times to go.
How about deleted voucher? Is it tracked? I believe
Yes.
it is tracked, and
Yes,
We have seen that. Yes.
Consequences if audit logs are not maintained, probably we have to report, right, sir?
Yes, if the audit logs are not maintained, then we definitely have to add to in the audit report as a comment.
In fact, we also have to report if someone is not using the electronic mode of books of accounts and they are maintaining it manual, that also has to be reported that the books of accounts has been maintained manually and not in electronic mode.
Right. So people are very keen for the PPT. Will you be sharing?
Yes, yes. The objective is knowledge sharing. Yes, that would be shared.
So there's a question, in case of data pulling into Tally from other software like AutoNet used by two-wheeler dealers for sale, how will the Tally Prime EL behave?
Yeah, so the data which is pushed to the Tally, it will be tracked as sync. In the Tally, the data thing, it will use the data is sync. And when I'm editing it manually, it will be tracking the manual that happens there.
Okay, sir. Sir, will there a change in cost center be also captured as?
Yes, everything, any change in the voucher is tracked. I have entered, changed one small space or if I have put a full stop, gets tracked.
Will edit log be created also when entries are done using Alt plus when the copying command if is used?
Yeah. So you are creating a new voucher, okay, using Alt 2. Yeah, whatever Alt. See, that means you are not altering the previous voucher. You are creating a new voucher by copying some information which is already there. So when you save at the hit button of the save, you are not altering the old version. So old voucher has not changed. This is a new voucher that is created. So there is no alteration that has happened.
So question, I think it's not complete though. Does it also captures the IP address? To my understanding, if you are working on a like.
I get the question, but I do not have an most probably yes. I can't authenticatively say unless I see it, but maybe yes, but I don't know.
A small question, is audit log applicable on LLPs?
In my view, no. It is only for the body corporates.
Right. So even auditor's version of Tally can have an audit log, right, sir?
Yeah. So again, the audit version or non-audit version, we need to know in the Tally, there are now two versions of Tally Prime. One with log, one without log. So we have to use that version which has with log. So it will be showing as Tally Prime edit log, whether it is auditor version, non-auditor version, any version, it's a Tally Prime. So parallelly, every time when the Tally Prime is upgraded, both audit log version and non-audit log version gets upgraded.
Right, sir. Sir, one small question problem would arise that when you are splitting the tally of on 1/4/2023, and due to audit adjustment or any later adjustments or any changes because of any good reason, so there would be a change in an opening balance on a later point of time, and that would also result. Will that also result in a edit log?
Yes. Yeah, because the ledger master got getting changed. So any change in the master is also tracked. So let's say salary payable was the nothing when I am splitting. After that, in the previous year, books were not properly closed. So I have posted a salary payable entry and manually I'm altering the opening balance. Even that is also logged.
Correct, sir. So various statutory accounting entries such as depreciation provisions for various expenses, final stock valuation takes considerable time. So they may be entered after a month's time, after 31st March. So will that create any problem?
No, it won't. And it will not also be treated as alteration. When I'm doing an original entry in a backdated, A, it is not wrong. B, it is not, it doesn't amount to alteration because finalization of the books of accounts takes time. So,
right. So there's a small, on a lighter note, somebody saying that they are even feeling hungry with seeing Sarita dancing. So
is having a dinner.
what I would like to ask that, we in that case, we have to be very careful about the date of the financial statements, right? Because if you get my point, the edit log can show the last entry date which is being passed. Right.
Yeah, so you cannot say that you have signed the balance sheet on 29th June 23, but the entries in the tally are posted in August, September. A very good point, Sumitji, you brought it. And as I have shown you in the demo, the entry was in April 21, but it has been posted today. One will be able to see when they have posted. So balance sheet sign date and all the original entries. See, there are entries that could be there, depreciation which are there, adjusted in the trial balance, posted in the books of accounts later, everyone understands. But the bookkeeping only is happening later. So one should be very careful on what basis the balance sheet has been signed.
So, sir, continuing with the same question, many SME clients, there's a traditional practice that they bring their tally to the chartered accountant's office. And then they, once the financial statements are prepared, they take, pass the entries there, which we even had read in our accounting auditing standard that, opening balances, we tally when we go back for the financial year. So how do we deal with that situation that few last closing entries are passed in not at the client's office?
No, all that I'm saying is that is permitted. It's like, it's just that you need to assess on what basis you have finalized. Some of the entries in the Excel itself, the auditor will say, these are my audit adjustment, audit JVs. And in the Excel, they will say, the financial statements are adjusted. You go ahead and post it into the tally. And most likely the accountant has not seen, forgot it. Next year, when they are doing it, they incorporate those audit JVs. That doesn't mean that it was not right. It's just that we need to be aware of it. That's all I'm saying.
So again, a small repetitive question, that two set of accounts, one with edit log and one without edit log. But again, I understand that would be not very good exercise. That will turn out to be a futile exercise on a later point of time, because there would be time stamped attached to it, right, sir?
Once and data is opened in edit log, and you don't even use edit log, you are using the normal tally prime, still the edit log is activated, the entire log gets tracked. So you cannot say that, okay, I'm using in a different thing and nothing is tracked. It gets tracked. So I will not say a futile access. Wherever it is like you have enabled a feature, and once it is enabled, wherever you are working, it is inbuilt. It is not visible to you at the prima facie, but the data is there in the back.
So allow me 2 minutes. I'm just going through the questions.
Yeah, I
If
see
someone is
112 questions.
If someone is maintaining his accounts in Excel, what will be the position?
Excel, not an accounting software, and Excel is like one slate written with the chalk piece. Anytime you want to edit, you can edit, you can do anything. So I'll not say they are not maintaining whatever the things they are saying. I wouldn't say that as an auditor. I will qualify my clause G saying that the company is not maintaining an accounting software which has an audit trail or audit log facility.
So what is the penalty under Companies Act 2013, if you can inform us, if possible?
Pass. I don't know. Maybe I think Sarita, someone has to say. I don't have no idea.
No problem, sir. In case of an e-invoice in GST maintained in Tally Prime of a private limited company, for modification of e-invoices, we have to delete the invoice and prepare a new invoice. But in audit log, it will be affected. What is the remedy for or procedure to solve this problem?
By the way, in the GST, there is no concept of amendment. Once you have prepared an invoice, you cannot change it. Like you can only cancel that invoice. And the only thing is you pass a credit note, debit note, delete it. You will have a track of it. In fact, you should also know that, okay, once invoice is created, for some reasons you are deleting it, canceling on the government portal, you need to have a track of it. I think I don't see any challenge in this. There is no problem there.
In audit trail, do I even track the users whom have made changes? For example,
Yes.
3%.
Yes, we do. That is why it now becomes important that we maintain different users for all the person using Tally or Zoho for different functionalities, so that they are responsible and we know which user has passed that entry. So
What
that we can,
sorry.
yeah, so that if we have any questions or if the auditor asks any questions, we have the answers, and that particular person who has passed the entry would be able to relatively explain better.
Correct. So if the data gets corrupted by some mishap, then how do we restore and what happens to the audit log?
Yeah, so audit log is residing into the Tally data. Once the data is restored, because it is linked to the voucher module. So once the vouchers are restored, the audit log is also restored. If the vouchers are not able to be restored, the audit log dies. So if either It is Boolean, yes or a no. You get the data, you get the data. You don't get the data, you don't get anything.
There's a habit of using enter key and accepting the vouchers. What is the effect of the edit log in the tally?
Yeah, whenever you are altering, it gets logged. See, I want users to get one primary thing settled in the mind. If I am altering the voucher, if I'm editing the voucher, there is nothing wrong. There is nothing harm. The expectation of the MCA is to have a software to track the changes that are happening. 1,000 vouchers I have made 2,000 changes. It's okay. Like there is nothing wrong. Just because there are 2,000 vouchers, 2,000 amendments happen, this is fraud. Maybe that accountant who is doing is so idiot that for all receipts he is using the FI and payment and this putting.
Right.
The job of someone is to correct that. So they have corrected it. I think
that would be
we should live with that.
We will be able to justify what we have done.
Correct.
Yes.
Right. So this small question is audit trail applicable for banks. I think they have much more sophisticated software than this, I believe.
Yeah, they have CBS, they have even more. They've been there with the audit trail as a part of controls from ages.
If a company starts updating the books from 30/6/2023, and if he enables the audit trail feature at the date only, but the transactions will be entered from 1/4/2023. Same thing. I think it's probably an entry on a later point of time, but the trail audit will still be there. So this, I think we need to learn, and it's a very good question raised by Rituji. As an auditor, how can I know which entries are tampered, maybe a wrong word, which entries are altered? Because on a later point of time, even during our audit, we should be aware that these entries are affected or changed or whatever the situation is.
Yeah, in my day book, the basics of values, should I want to see all the reports, altered vouchers, non-altered vouchers, deleted vouchers. Like you have filter. You pick whatever filter, it will show you all those reports. That's what I've shown you. Out of so many transactions, only it showed first 3 transactions which I have altered.
And very good point brought in by Shreyansh Kothari, stating that in case you have an auditor's user ID password, don't enter any entries with that login, because you'll be creating yours.
You are creating a trail that you are the auditor of bookkeeping and the signatory. Yeah, these are, by the way, these are practical things. One may laugh at it, but yeah, tomorrow you also have to justify if something is happening. Even that case fact that you've done all the data entry and then you are signing that yes, everything is good.
So there's a question by Prakash ji. For a particular entry has been deleted in the data, and if the client says that it was a wrong entry by the data person, later after detection it was being deleted, what should the auditor do?
You should say, okay, you did the right thing. If something wrong entry was there, you deleted it, you deleted it. Our job is to only keep checking the log and satisfy ourselves that there are no frauds. There is no intentional mistakes. In fact, that gives us the confidence that, okay, someone has reviewed the transactions, made corrections wherever it is required and necessary.
Right. So I think these were the questions, and I've tried my best to make justice to all the questions. In case there are any requests to please put in last, or we'll close the session.
In fact, the presentations carrying our email ID, the members can reach to Sarita ji or to me on the respective Zoho and Tally related questions.
There's a question that what if the client makes an entry in the normal Tally and then they activate log and then they send us? I think there would be a timestamp to it. If I've understood it correctly, and that will take care of the entire transaction, sir.
Because there is one question in the mandatory audit trail that the audit trail has been effective and operating throughout the years for all the transactions recorded in the software. So you may modify your FARA audit report saying that it has been only from say June 23, this has been there. That's how you can suitably comment. Now, giving that comment doesn't indicate that this person has done a crime. Report is saying the what so is what so.
Sir, I understand there can be one challenge which we further would have to discuss on a later point of time, that few of our clients will be activating it over a period of time. It can be 15th of April or 5th of April. So how do we take care in our accounting policies can be a question, right?
Yeah, so I'm sure ICAI by the end of the year will come out with a guidelines and giving a scenarios how to issue, how to word our CARO report. If this happens, what should be the wordings in the CARO report?
Correct, sir. So I thank you so much, sir. I believe this, as Devayan has already said, that this would be probably the last VCM. And so in that case, probably we'll have an opportunity to meet you in person next time we are having a session, and Sarita is always in Kolkata. But this was a great mode of, engaging with more than 800 people. And I hope we've been able to do sense. And we have Devayan Patra sir and Sanjeev Bhaiya who's there. We have been able trying to make more sense with the questions. Up to you.
Sure. And I also want to place on record the efforts by Sanjeev ji in bringing any technology session in the EIRC. I always see EIRC generally catches ahead of other regions on the technology related aspects, and definitely kudos to the whole team.
Thank you. And I think, Venu sir, with your presence and with the presence of Sarita, I think all the delegates have got tremendous benefit. And, Sumit as a coordinator was able to, wrap the whole discussion in such a manner that most of the questions get answered in the minimum possible time. Definitely, if you don't have a very good coordinator, a lot of questions get missed out and, delegates don't get enough benefit. So he was very able to construct those questions and present it to all the speakers so that the members get the most benefit. Still, I think there's a lot of gray areas left, but then slowly and eventually, things will get sorted out. But it's a very, very good gesture, and we welcome the entire fraternity, the entire profession, welcome Audit Trail, and we are ready for this challenge. Thank you.
I would just like to add one point. Looking into the kind of queries we are coming up with, the softwares like Tally, and there might be other softwares which are desktop version, and it comes with inherent issues and problems, like we might lose the data along with the audit trail. So there comes a point that we might want to shift slowly to the clients to such kind of softwares, be it Zoho, be it any other cloud accounting, which has audit trail as inherent feature. Because in that case, we are tension free, and we do not need to think that what will happen of the audit trail after a couple of years if I lose my data or any such thing. We can pull those report in spreadsheet, keep it with us for any number of years we want, and whenever we are moving from one software to other, from the first software we have all the audit trail, and then we are moving to the other software to start fresh. So this can also be thought of, because I see that if I am using softwares like Zoho, I hardly had 15 minutes to give a demo on audit trail, and we are ready to use it as a full-fledged audit trail feature which has been implemented by MCA. Whereas if I am using Tally, like nothing against Tally, but we need to train our clients, we need to train our team members to have them prepared for it. So though Tally will take time and it will come to the same level, but slowly the clients who are really not very much careful on using the accounting softwares and they just play with it, for auditors to be on safer side, we need to bring them to such softwares wherein they don't have any chance to do any kind of changes or shift from one software to the another, from one version to the another. So I think that would benefit us as an auditors.
Venu sir, you want to say something?
Yeah. Just that, okay, maybe I don't curse me because my saying this. I see around 140 questions in the Q&A, and there were questions which are in the chat. If maybe someone from the good office members can compile that and we send it to the institute in the FAQ type guidelines, can add it and consider and just maybe officially and unofficially give some guidelines, because people have these questions like as Sumit asked, I started in between, or someone is altering, what will happen, how it happens. Maybe some of the things we can address it to Tally, to give their views from it. So maybe a compendium which can be issued back as a kind of a practical guideline. That's what I thought.
So I would take this opportunity to offer a formal vote of thanks to Mamta Di, who is not among us at this point of time, to Venu sir, Sarita ji, and the entire team of EIRC for arranging this session. And I hope we would be requiring few more sessions on this topic itself so that people are aware and they are able to implement it. You would like to make any concluding remarks?
Chairman?
No, I think this is something that the government expects us to implement at our clients' offices, and when we reach there as auditors, to also see that it's actually implemented and followed. So I think it's a big responsibility, and we know how difficult it is going to be to implement it at the level of MSMEs. And I think the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India are now fully geared and ready to take this challenge and show the world that we can not only implement GST, but we can also implement audit trail in our country.
And even people with Disha will have one more good reason to use it.
I think Sumit, adaptability becomes a big thing, and slowly professionals are getting more and more adaptive to all the changes. And the better we, adapt and get more quality oriented and bring more transparency in the system, I think that's the way to go forward. And as rightly said by the immediate past chairman, always that audit is definitely a serious business. So these kind of, updates and this kind of notification really helps get a very, very good quality of work.
So can we close? Sure.
But to all the delegates and also to the faculties and the session coordinator, Sumit Bihani, who actually thanked all of us and deserved thanks from us too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.